One of the things I like to do in Atmos mixes, when appropriate, of course, is to have a delay that kind of bounces all around the space. So, maybe the first repeat starts in the rear left, and then the next one is in the front right, and then maybe it's on the left side, and then the rear top right, and then maybe the left front top, and just to bounce all around the room. And for an example, if you want to kind of hear some of this happening, I did a mix for an artist named Leah Drummond. The track is called Velvet Sunshine, and that has some of this kind of delay stuff in it. Might be a little subtle, but it's in there, and you can kind of hear some stuff bouncing around. To set that kind of stuff up in the past, though, the way I always did it was I would have like just a bunch of different aux sends, and I'd end up with this big folder full of aux sends that are all panned to different places, and to have this thing kind of cascade, and it just gets really complicated kind of, and it's sort of a pain to set up. But today I want to show you a delay plugin that I think will save you from doing all of that. I know it's going to save me a lot of time, and it's going into my template. So let's take a look. The plugin we're going to look at today is called Lumina Delay. It is from Mountain Road DSP. Full disclosure, this is not a sponsored video, but Mountain Road DSP, they did send this over for me to take a look at. So let's get into Pro Tools. By the way, all the playback you're hearing today, it's all going to be binaural, so you might want to grab some headphones and put them on. So to start, I just have a snare drum here. Go figure. Snare drum. I have a mono send set up here, which is this Lumina send, and I have it set to pre-delay for the send today, just for the video, so that I can actually mute the snare, and all we're going to listen to is the return. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to load up the plugin. Let's find Mountain Road DSP, Lumina Delay. I'm going to go mono to 714. All right, so when the plugin comes up, there's a few things that I need to do here, and I'm going to save a preset so that I don't have to do this every time. But just to show you, I'm going to click on this little icon here, which is going to get us into some settings. I'm going to change the subdivision to eighth notes. I'm going to leave sync to host checked. I'm going to hit snap to grid, and then you can use the tooltips if you want, but we're not going to need them today. Next thing I'm going to do is this dry wet. I'm going to set this to 100% wet because I'm using this as a send return kind of configuration. This is on a return, so I only want the effect. Now, one of the things that I missed the first time I loaded this up is there is actually a scroll bar here that will get us to other controls, which we're going to need for using this as an immersive delay or an Dolby Atmos delay. The controls over here, these knobs, these are kind of master controls. So I'm probably not going to use those much, maybe a little bit here and there, but for the most part, I'm not going to use them. We can also resize this display, which I'm going to do so that we can get more of the controls in view. Now, this delay is a little different from some of the delays you might be used to if you're using things like Echo Boy or H delay or just a stock delay in your DAW. Those delays typically have some kind of a feedback control, which gets used for the number of repeats you want. With this delay, we actually can add taps, or basically repeats, for however many repeats we want. So if I put one here on each of these, we're going to get 3 repeats. So I'll just play it so that you can hear it. So 3 repeats. There we go. If we want to do more, I can add more. I can add one in between. So You can just kind of do whatever you want to do with sort of creating a pattern. But what I want to do is I want to do some panning things here so that we have delays that kind of go around the room. So let's start this over. I'm going to clear this up. So let's just add a single tap. And I'm going to make sure that my volume on this is at 0. So I can just hit reset. So I have this single tap. So coming down here, we have our pan controls. This first lane and control, this is kind of our master left-right pan. So I'm going to pan this all the way to, actually, let's pan it all the way to the left. This next lane is our rear to front control, or front to rear, however you want to think of it. I know it says center there. To me, I kind of wish it said side, because when we're dealing with immersive, that's more what I'm thinking. But basically, it's the center between the front and the rear, or in this case, it would put it on the side. But I'm going to go all the way to the rear for this first tap. And then this last pan control right here, this is our panner between the ear level and our height channels. One of the things I think that confused me a lot about this is it's in the center to default. I think personally it should default down to ear level, because that's where most things sort of default when we're working in Atmos, but that will let us get this tap in the ear level speakers. So based on the way I've panned this, we're going to be in the left rear speaker. So if I play, we should see that show up here in our renderer. And there we go. Now, if I want to add some more taps to do some other things, I can start doing that, and we can just click anywhere, really. In fact, I'll just add a bunch of these. So these are all down at ear level. I'm going to alternate this panning so that we can get some things to kind of bounce around the room a little bit. So next one we'll do front right, and we'll put that down at the bottom. And then let's go to the side, left side there. And then we'll go to the right rear, and let's put that in the height channel. And then with this last one, we'll go left front, and I'll put it up top. So let's play this and see what it does. Oh, I missed one in there. Third one, since this rear to front is not at the sides. Let's see what that's doing again. There we go. I think I just didn't have that panner all the way down, because the minute I start taking it up, so the minute I start raising that, it's going to start putting it in the height channels. And in this case, since I'm panned to the side and I don't have a sort of center height channel, it's going to put it into both to do that phantom center. If I raise up this first one a little bit, we can see what that does in here. It should just put the two left, the left top rear and the right top rear. And, you know, once these points are in, we can move them around and change the pattern a little bit. We can do some strange things. Kind of an easy way to bounce things around. The other thing we can do, there is actually high and low pass filters on here, so we can change this so that as these delays go further, it's going to roll more top end off. Let's see what that does. You know, up here at the top with the volume, we can have these sort of decrease in volume or get louder again, even. I find pushing this up above 0 tends to be problematic, kind of distorts things. But, you know, if I've got that up there like that and it's distorting, this is a situation where you can grab this master and just sort of pull it down. But I mean, that was 17 dB, so that's a lot. So we'll do that. One of the things I wish you could do, which you can't currently do, but Who knows? Maybe they'll add this at some point. I wish you could kind of drag around everything and kind of take it up and down. And, I don't know if there's a hotkey to sort of reset volumes, but I haven't found it yet. You can add, that's another thing you have to watch. You can add multiple taps on one point in time. Is it just that one? Yeah. So got to be careful clicking around, but we don't have to have these snapping to the grid. You can put these wherever you want. If you want to put those like that. So you can do lots of cool stuff with this. So let's do something here just for fun. Let's wipe all of these. And I'm going to put the grid back on. And let's add a bunch of these. So we'll go, actually, let's start on the left. So left, and then this one we'll put in the center, and then we'll go right, 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 and then we want left, left, and then right, right. So I'm going to start in the front, center, rear, and then we'll stay in the rear, and then this will stay in the rear, and then that'll go to the center, that'll go to the front, and then we want to stay in the front, then go to the rear, and then the front, and then with bottom top, these are all going to come all the way down. And then which one is that? Right front, and then we'll go height. So what this should do is this should make a delay that kind of swirls around the space. So let's see. Pretty cool, I think. Maybe I should have put a center one in there too, but you get the idea. So it's a Lumina Delay from Mountain Road DSP. Let me know, what do you think? Have you played with it? Have you tried it? Are there cool things that you've been finding? Please leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.